are joined down by Peter Finch over in Dubai. Sorry to interrupt your holiday, but obviously we've got some breaking news over from the world of YouTube golf. I'm sure you've heard the news. What are your takes on it?
Have I heard the news, Kieran? Kieran, I'm part of said news.
Yeah,
I am, I am, I am intertwined with the news. It is impossible to not hear of it when I was part of the group that conceived of it, if that makes any sense.
yes, you are one of the 16, an absolute esteemed lineup. What are your feelings about it?
You just swallowed a dictionary this morning or something. Don't try and pretend to the world that things have happened in this absence. Don't pretend like you've just taken an A level in English language. Just talk to me like a normal human being, please. Come on. Just because we're separated by a few thousand miles, like we don't need to like put on this persona. All right. Just treat this like you're having a normal conversation to me, please.
I just
It's going to make me feel a lot less uncomfortable.
So obviously rattling off a few of the names: Grant Horvat, Bat Perez, yourself, Buster Jack, Michael Morris, George Bryan, an absolute incredible field. Obviously, you're out in Dubai right now practicing. How are you feeling about your game at the moment?
I mean, the round that I've had this morning has not filled me with any confidence at all. I was absolutely awful. When you start going through that list, as soon as you start hitting the names that you might not have heard of from the YouTube space,
Yeah,
like those guys are the proper players. There's people there who've shot, um, you know, I think one of them shot 59. There's winners on mini tours. There's a lot of very, very good players there. If one of the players from the group of influencers actually manages to kind of make it through, that would be a fantastic story in itself because there are a lot of very, very good players going for this spot. Um, if I am going to ascertain my chances by how I've played today, I'm hopefully I won't finish last. It was a pretty tight close affair. I'm gonna do some practice and then hopefully I can come out the other side. It doesn't help that I'm absolutely shattered, but I'm gonna try and get through it.
very good. And so, where did you play this morning at Jumeirah?
Yeah, the Earth course.
Oh,
So
right, you're on the big boy course.
yeah, and it's a tough course anyway. And to be honest, it's a course that I've never particularly got on with. I've always found it really hard.
Yeah,
And that 18th hole, like if a stray nuclear bomb like just happened to go off, like if it could potentially take the 18th hole of the Earth course at Jumeirah Golf Estates with it, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Honestly, I think that might be the worst golf hole in the world. It is just horrendous.
what did you shoot on it?
I managed to get a par, but I almost went in the water, obviously. But like, I don't know what Greg Norman was sniffing when he designed that, but it must have been strong stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just awful. Of all the dodgy things that Greg Norman has done in the last few years, that supersedes everything. Like I'd let him off everything
Yeah.
if he came back and redesigned that golf hole. Sorry, ran over.
No worries, no worries.
But my short game also is absolutely shocking at the moment. So I'm gonna go and have a practice at the Tommy Fleetwood Academy this afternoon and hopefully straighten a few things out.
Very, very good. And so obviously with this Myrtle Beach Classic and with this sponsorship, exemption, that you guys are getting involved in. Do you
Mm.
think that this is kind of like the start? We're going to start to see a bit more of this. Obviously, we saw it with the Bryan Bros, with George Bryan. With that, do you think we're going to start to see even more of this?
If the standard of golf on YouTube keeps getting higher, so the people who are making videos and who are currently making videos as well, if the standard keeps improving, then I don't see why not. Because really, sponsors exemptions for tour events, they're usually given to like a young up and coming player, or they're kind of given to some better, well known names from the tour who won't have qualified for that event by the normal mean. So this is a way for kind of Myrtle Beach to really get a lot of eyeballs on the event and bring interest from this YouTube social media space that maybe wouldn't otherwise be interested. I mean, we've got to be we've got to be a little bit careful, because we live within this bubble, we live within this space. But the amount of comments and the amount of people who are getting involved and chatting about how they wouldn't normally be interested in an event like this.
Yeah.
It's a lower ranking PGA Tour event. But if one of the guys who they follow and they watch on a weekly basis qualifies, then they will be watching. So,
Yeah.
I think as far as Myrtle Beach are concerned, I think it's a really good, really smart move. And the amount of attention that is generating already probably goes on to show that, I think.
100%. And like, even looking at like just people that I follow on my own personal account, and the amount of people that I've seen share about this, it's just massive. So like even that way, it's, the amount of eyeballs it's already getting is huge.
Yeah, and like I said, we need to be careful because we do live in this world, so it's potential that it just becomes a bit of an echo chamber. We hear great things and people say it's great, but the more important thing in many respects really is how people who don't watch YouTube, who don't really know much about this space, are actually kind of taking the news. I've seen some tasty takes from across the traditional media, shall we say?
Yes, I think there was we're going to pop up one of the news reports here from Golf Digest. I mean, I actually only saw it from Mac Boucher, who isn't actually playing in this event, but was very sort of, got the ump about the fact that one of those reports was saying, like, if you're going to try and attempt to go on the PGA Tour, all you've got to do is say, please like and subscribe. The very next story of Mac's one was like Golf Digest even that day saying, oh, can we reshare your content? So it's it was kind of like, it's sort of two faces, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone said that it kind of looked like Golf Digest were almost trying to be a gatekeeper and trying to be a kind of purveyor of what type of player should be in these events. And to kind of say that, it seemed a little bit sour. It seemed like a bit bitter, and it seemed a little bit unnecessary. But from my point of view, it doesn't really matter, because like, it's not about golf magazines. This whole kind of event and what Myrtle Beach are doing, it supersedes traditional types of media. It's all about bringing in a new audience and a new wave of golfers who are through social media and not turning to traditional sources like magazines, newspapers, or even TV. So the joy of living in a free and open society, Kieran.
Yes, no, exactly right. Yeah, just to look at some of the other names here. So probably the names that you touched on earlier, but people don't know, like Scott Stevens, Jay Card, Jamie Wilson. Like, these are all, from what I understand, Korn Ferry Tour players.
Yeah, a lot of them have like done Korn Ferry. A lot of them have been really good college players. I mean, to be honest, like, the easiest way of doing it, what I did is I just went down the list, and as soon as I didn't recognize someone from YouTube, I started Googling them. And it to me, it became pretty clear that whoever qualifies from this kind of one day shootout, they're going to be a good player.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. I mean, paper, like, we've got a 1 in 16 chance, but in reality, I'm going to have to play my very, very, very best golf and get lucky to even have a sniff.
yeah, yeah. But does it, like, if you actually, has it sunk in that you are essentially one round from the PGA Tour?
Not really, but to be honest, if you don't get through, you don't get through. It's not like even if like a miracle happened and you managed to actually get through, it's not really going to change. It's not really going to change anything.
Yeah.
Like, even if I scammed it through and I started thinning it and hit a few pins and like got lucky and just had one of those rounds where everything falls into place. If I went on to that actual event, I'd quite happily shoot 78 and go home happy.
I had a look, in the purse for Myrtle Beach is 3.9 million with 300 FedEx points up for grabs.
Is that it? Well, even if I qualify, I might not bother now. It's just not worth my time, Kieran.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
You want the Rolex events?
I need to see those dollar bills, mate. You know what I mean? Unless it's an elevated no cut event, I'm not bothered anymore.
Oh dear. Well, it's good that
What
you're getting your practice done and everything. So
you know what? You know what I'm trying to use this as Kieran now. You know, now I'm playing in these events as a player.
yeah.
I reckon if I get through and qualify for a PGA event, I reckon I might get a few live offers. You know, actually taking that money you're offering me, give it back to your design company, get your ass back to the 18th of the Earth course, rip up that abomination that you made, and start again. And then I might consider it.
Are you playing the Earth again this afternoon? Or are you playing the Fire, or what? What are you going to go down and just grind?
I can only play that course once a year, Kieran. It makes me too mad otherwise. Maybe twice a year. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go have a grind. Like I scrapped it around today. There were some good points, but like I need to It really feels like today and from this point onwards, like the golf season's kind of started for me.
Yeah.
So I need to get practice in. I need to get kind of grinding. Short game is nowhere near where it needs to be. Honestly, I was hitting some chips. Today, and I just had absolutely no clue what I was doing, like at all. Like it just wasn't good. I felt like Rick. It just wasn't good. So I need to sort that out. And my putting wasn't good. I didn't feel like Matt Fryer. I know that.
Well, we got a couple of videos coming out this week with obviously the next episode of Quest for the Open, but also your putter video as well. So are you happy with your choice?
Oh yeah. No, honestly, it's just the greens over here are really struggling with them because they're very grainy. So actually reading grain and trusting grain is something that we don't get a lot of kind of back in the UK. And I kind of struggle with the whole process of it. Maybe a bit of practice on that might be worthwhile.
And will you get any sort of practice rounds before? Like how many practice rounds do you reckon you'll have at the actual course before you play it? Like one or two?
I just said I don't think I need any practice rounds, Kieran. All I need to be doing, I'm just like a finely tuned engine. You just point me in the right direction and I'm good to go. I don't need no practice round.
Are you going to do a classic sort of like YouTube rock up to the first tee, no practice? You just.
I mean, I got here early this morning. I had about 45 minutes before a tee time, which is unheard of for me.
Yeah.
Like I had a full warm up, wedges all the way through to drive. It felt great. Onto the first hole, bish bash bosh, double bogey. Thanks for coming. So I honestly think warming up is completely overrated. Go watch the video we did with Swing Quest, 5-minute warm up.
Oh, brilliant. Right, well, I think that's a pretty good insight into how you're feeling about it. Obviously, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know you are kind of on holiday at the moment, so but we just need to get your brief opinions about how you're feeling and everything like that.
Absolutely no problem. Was that like a question or was that like a
no, just like a statement, just saying like if there's anything else you wanted to add, and like it's saying that I've only got 7 minutes left, so I'm a bit worried about that.
Well, obviously I'll pay for the premium subscription. I'm gonna go practice. Well, actually, no, I might have a bit of a nap. So tired.
What's the temperature out there?
Bit cooler today. I think it's like low 20s, like 23, 24. It's got all the way down to where the hot air balloons were taking up from, and it got cancelled.
Oh no.
So Carly is a treat. This time round, she basically booked it again. Bit of a surprise for me. So I told us the day before. I was like, great. So again, got up at 4, got picked up, got all the way out there, and it got cancelled again.
Oh.
So I mean, in all fairness, I was kind of laughing. So I just knew it was going to happen. Like, there was no way that Karma was going to look at me and say, you know what, yeah, this time it's just going to screw me a little bit more, and it did. So yeah, I'll from that.
That is not ideal.
Here's what it is. I've decided, Kieran, I'm just going to focus on land-based activities.
This is the thing with hot air balloons thing, though, because I know my dad tried to do one once. They need like no wind, from what I understand.
It's a scam, mate.
Yeah.
It's all a scam. What I'm convinced of, because like as soon as we finished, they were like, okay, so you can get your refund or you can rebook for another day. Like some people rebooked onto the next day, and I don't know if they went up the next day, but it was windy the next morning, so I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I think what they're relying on is people to forget to ask for their money back. I actually think there's no balloons. I am now convinced that there's no hot air balloons in the entire world, and it's all just a big scam. Yeah,
Oh,
you know what,
yeah.
Kieran? I'm done. I'm done with the air, and you already know my opinions about the ocean.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to stick to the land-based activities where we belong. You know my theory about the oceans, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's just to let everyone else kind of know my theory of the oceans is that, hundreds of millions of years ago, our ancient ancestors decided that living in the sea was so rubbish that they crawled out, got on land, and never looked back. So who am I and who are we to think, you know what, I think we should go back into the ocean? No. Our ancient ancestors decided that it was so crap there that land was a better alternative. So I'm gonna embrace my heritage. I'm going to embrace my DNA. I'm going to hear their call from deep within my. I don't know what's the old part of the brain. I can't remember. I'm going to listen to the ancestors' call from deep within my body, and I'm going to stick to the land.
Yeah, I'll leave you to it. You go and have a nice iced coffee, and we'll get back to the main episode.
Okay, enjoy it without me.
Right. See you later. Bye.